Hey guys, what's up? It's Darkmick here and welcome back to another video. Today we're covering off Shrine of the Storm in my Season 4 Mythic plus 10 sort of introduction, I suppose, to new tanks. Main idea, quickly as I've said in all the other videos, is to just give newer tanks an idea coming into the 10 plus affix of Awakened, what to do with your obelisk. So these aren't designed to be full dungeon walkthroughs or anything in that in regards to full mob explanation and things like that. I will be talking over a video and pointing out the important things to kick and things like that. But the main focus is to just give you guys an idea of what to do with your obelisk, so when you come into these dungeons, you've got sort of a higher confidence or comfort level, I suppose, in regards to what you're doing with the newer fixes. Often with the tank, you kind of get pinned down for you're the tank, your route, so go ahead. So yeah, that's the idea of these videos. So Shrine of the Storm, this is a plus 15. So a lot of you guys are going to be seeking out plus 10s and 15s for your mounts and things like that. And Shrine so far hasn't really changed much around affixes or anything like that in regards to how we've done any of the obelisks. So this is a pretty safe route. So to start off, we're going to pull the front room and we're just going to pull it onto the Templar and nuke it down. Obviously on bolstering, it's not a super happy, fantastic idea. It's just something to be aware of. You'd pull one pack and then you'd pull the other pack, or you'd imprison the Templar, pull the two small packs, and then pull it with the Templar. Just make sure that you're kicking the protective aura. Watch out for the heaving blow, and that's about it. Now, Shrine has a lot of snap points in it, and snapping as a tank can be really helpful to you if you don't have mass grip or if you want to clump mobs up very quickly. Now, snapping in Shrine is done pretty much via the teacups. Now, just going to pause this for a second. See these are what we call them teacups on these sides here. If you pull a mob and you interrupt its cast, it will snap up into the teacup when you jump there. If it's casting and you don't interrupt it, majority of the time, unless you're distance away from it, if it's in range of you within, say, 40 yards, it'll just stand there and cast at you. So you will need either to get an interrupt and then snap it, or have aggro and then have somebody else go and kick it. Otherwise, if you've got a rogue with tricks of the trade, they can actually run down below. They can tricks you, run down, hit things. If you're standing in the teacup, then they'll snap immediately up to you. So just a few options there. Coming out into this front pack, the attendants will cast a water blast. They're the things that you want to kick. You want to let the washaways go through, because washaways don't need to be kicked. They're just a blue swirl on the ground, so make sure you just don't stand in them. But otherwise, try and kick the water blasts. And we're just going to grab the spiritualist there and we're just going to snap it up. Now, I have to run around like a little bit more of a goose than normal due to necrotic week. Obviously, it's not an issue when it's not necrotic week. The spiritualist will cast a thing called Mending Rapids. You need to kick Mending Rapids. If you don't kick Mending Rapids, a heal will go on to all the mobs within 20 yards of that mob. And it's a bad time, obviously. So you can purge it off, but if you've got a really large pack, you're not going to be purging all of them off. So just be aware of that. So we've polished up them. Then we're going to move down here and we're going to grab, I'm not sure what I grab here. I don't know if I grab 4 attendants and the droplets. I might. What I'm actually going to do though is I'm going to, because we've got that Templar there, I'm going to snap them all the way up to the top here. So you can see I jump in the cup and they all snap up the top. So it's a super easy way to clump mobs up. Just watching out for the heaving blow from the Templar there. You can see there's a lot of water blast. Now, one thing to note here, these are all standing in the teacup. The reason they're standing in the teacup is because they haven't been interrupted out of the teacup. Now, sometimes with snapping points and casts, sometimes you actually need to jump and interrupt them. It's tilting, but sometimes you actually need to jump and interrupt them, or interrupt them in the teacup to get them to snap out. So what I am going to do here is I'm actually going to run and line of sight them to try and get them out of the teacup. It can be really frustrating. So otherwise, as I said, you are just going to have to jump and interrupt them to get them out of the teacup. So you can see we got the majority out there. There's one left in there, but that's why it is a giant pain, because they'll just sit in there and cast at you. So just be aware of that. When you are snapping, you may need very well to jump to get them out. Otherwise, you can single grip them out over and over again as well. But yeah. So we have killed the bottom pack there. We still need 2 spiritualists and 2 more spiritualists from the bottom. So 4 spiritualists in total. This MDT is in the pinned comment below as well. So rather than doing 4 spiritualists here requiring 4 kicks on Mending Rapids, what I am going to do is just pull 2 and then pull the other 2. Shrine's timer isn't sort of too bad where you need to go and play a whole heap of dumb sort of, bum rushed things. Another thing you can do here though, if you hadn't pulled the 4 attendants together, was you could have pulled 2 attendants and 2 of the spiritualists, and then pulled the other 2 attendants with the other 2 spiritualists if you didn't want to do this in 2 pulls. And you can see there, again, if you haven't done snapping before, an easy way to snap these down the bottom, get aggro on it, then run, jump in the teacup, and because the other one's line of sight of me, it snaps up. So nice and easy snaps, gets the mobs to you quicker, and groups them up as well. So again, spiritualist, just making sure that we're kicking the Mending Rapids, and that's pretty much it. Then we're going to run back up the top here, and we're going to grab our obelisk friend here. Now I should say as well, in regards to going back and forth, as I mentioned, you can either speed pot, grab aggro, jump in a teacup and get everything up here if you want. You can have a rogue run down there and tricks of the trade. Otherwise, doing it this way is fine. So we're going to jump in this obelisk now. Blob Boy, as I've always said with Blob Boy, generally you want to kill the tentacles where they are. You can snap tentacles as well into the teacup locations and things like that if you want, but general easy rule of thumb is to just kill the tentacles where they are. With the blob, just make sure you're kind of not cutting your DPS off in regards to getting to tentacles or getting back down. But once we've done that, we're going to take this blob and we're going to go down the waterfall. Skip, you don't have to go down the waterfall as well. You could run down the stairs, but we're going to take this down the waterfall and we're going to go all the way down to the bottom here near this other obelisk, and we are going to come out. I'm going to grab these 2 attendants and I'm going to do another snap here. So I'm going to grab these apprentices, I'm going to jump in the teacup and then I'm going to taunt this initiate here. So again, if you haven't done this before, getting in the teacup here, then I'm going to taunt this initiate. Now it has to be this initiate. If you get any of the other ones, you will pull Haldus, and you need to taunt. Don't pull it with an ability, pull it with a taunt. So if I taunt that one there, I get all of those initiates around Haldus snapping into that teacup. And it just means, again, if it's a weak like bolstering or something like that, it takes them out of the equation with Haldus. So we're just going to kill them. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to single pull Haldus. What was this Tyran week? With the initiates here. So the initiates as well, if you didn't know, when they pat out of this corridor straight ahead. When they get to the bottom, if you just pull the front one, you'll pull them and you won't get the 2 iron halls on either side of them. So I'm going to grab one of the initiates. You don't need to taunt either. You can pull them with an ability. They're going to come down. We're going to kill them on Haldus. Again, you can stay in the haste buff that they put down. It just helps your DPS kill it quicker. Have an interrupt order for the wind blast, so all the wind blasts aren't going through, and that is pretty much it on that one. Then I'm going to come up here. I'm going to pull this pack here with the droplets and that. You can hug this wall so you don't pull the boss, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to teacup them as well. So I am running off to my little teacup over here. I'm going to get in my teacup, get up. Everything's going to snap, and there we go. So yeah, again, really easy. Same mobs, spiritualists, make sure you kick the Mending Rapids, attendants, make sure you get the water blast, let the washerways through, and that is pretty much it, guys. So once we've killed those, we missed one of the Templars here, so we actually need this Templar. So the Templar was just in a bad spot when it came, so we're going to just grab these droplets and the Templar. Again, protective aura on the Templar, not standing in the heaving blow. Kill all of those. We got these droplets too. We got the droplets from up here. If you've got a boomy or something like that, they can just moonfire those droplets. The droplets are in the percent of this, so yeah, you do need a way to pull those droplets, and generally a ranged cast is the best one to do it without getting the elemental and that's next to them. And then we're going to pull the boss. Boss is straight up like normal, so don't stand in the bad swirls on the ground. Someone will get, what is it called? The grasp of the depths on them. Make sure you have a stun lined up for that, otherwise you can damage them out of it. But asphyx and things like that, if you're on a blood DK, stormbolt, things like that will get people out. He'll do a charge. Don't stand in front of the boss when he does a charge. When he splits, someone needs to be, people need to be in melee range of each of the splits. Otherwise, the boss will cast Sea Blast. So you can see here, one person's gone to each of these. When he does the charge from here, nice little tip is you can run up and stand on one of these little ledge points, and you won't get hit. So nice and easy way, and then just get back to one of these before too many Sea Blasts go off. If one goes off, you'll be okay, but just be aware of that. Undertow will push against you. DKs, you can use Death's Advance to not go anywhere, and here comes the Grasp of the Depths, so you can asphyx, stun, or damage people out of those. And then we're just going to wrap up, kill the boss, and that's it. So then we're going to come down to our next pull here. So we've got 2 apprentices at the gate here. Couple of options what you can do with these. You can CC them and pull all of inside out if you want to go for a big pull onto them. Otherwise, if you want to play it safe, you can just kill them and then do your large pull. So I don't know why, due to necrotic, maybe we just elected to do it this way, but either way, this is what we're doing. Just with the Iron Hall apprentices, just watch out for their Whirling Slam. You can stun them, but just watch out for when they get DR'd, as if you get cleaned up in a slam, it'll probably kill you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull what's inside here, this bottom pack and this corner pack. I'm not getting Scorn though, the rune dude, I'm not getting him, okay? So what we're going to do is going to pull these 2 packs, we're going to pull them out here, and we're just going to nuke them down. Now again, apprentices, making sure we're kicking the Water Blast, let the washaways go through. I just kicked a washaway, you're an absolute champ. Again, watching out for the Whirling Slam on the apprentices. There are 4 Iron Hall apprentices in here. They'll put a Sunder debuff on you as the tank as well, so just make sure you're aware of that, and kite again if you need to. And that's pretty much it, guys. You shouldn't have too many problems on them. So then we're going to run back to this obelisk over here, and we're going to take that through all the way across the bridge. Now, Tank Buster here, as I've said on every video, and I'll keep saying it in case you haven't seen the other one, Spirit Breaker, don't face tank the Lieutenant when you've got Spirit Breaker on you. It's a terrible idea, and you may very well die, especially when you're running through Malignant Growths and things like that. You'll be slowed, you'll be taking hits. It's not a great idea. So pretty much I am just going to take a Spirit debuff here, and then I'm going to leg it away. It's going to cast, Dark Fury, run away. Just keep kiting him forward like this. You just want to pretty much, while you've got the Spirit Buff D-Breaker on you, just make sure you don't take hits. Run away, Dark Fury, don't stand in it, take more hits, run away. So we're going to take him all the way across the bridge. So we're skipping this pack here, we skip Scorn inside, and we're going to skip the bridge Elemental 100% because it's just a pain in the ass. With a Warrior, you can Spell Reflect the first bit off it, does quite a bit of damage, and you can melt through it quite quickly, but we're just going to skip it. So taking him across the bridge here, and we're going to come out, and we're pretty much going to pull this bottom section here. So starting off on the side, 3 apprentices, don't stand in the Whirling Slams, watch out for the Sunder, same as normal. Then we're going to grab these 2 apprentices again, kicking the fucking Water Blast cast. Then I'm going to grab these, they cast Tempest. These apprentices cast Tempest as well. It's the attendants that do the Wash Away and Water Blast. The apprentices cast Tempest. You want to kick the Tempest. They mark the little windy patch on the ground. There's one there. Don't stand in them, otherwise that's pretty much it. So we're going to clean all of these up here. Now I'm going to show you another little snap point here as well. So once we've cleaned all of those up, I'm going to grab the rest of the initiates here. So with the initiates, I'm going to pull these ones here. I'm hopefully going to be able to get the other ones too. As well as when you're doing this as well, tell people not to hit them just until you've snapped them. Up here, there's another snap point. So once again, off to the... You can't see it right now. Hold on. Let me help you. All right. So here, behind this obelisk, like up on this rock here, if you jump into this area once you've got aggro on these, they'll all just snap into a line. It's the same if you want to pull these packs down here and snap them up here, you can do so. It's just another snapping point in here that's not in the water. Sometimes jumping into the water gets really dicky and they bug out and things like that. They can do the same here. I've just found this spot's been a little bit safer. Just make sure people don't hit them and aggro them before you get here. Otherwise, the mobs get separated like they have here because people didn't listen to me. So again, we've snapped them into place. Just going to kill them. The initiates aren't going to do anything. They're not going to do any problems. Just make sure you watch them when they're running away, as sometimes they run over the bridge, and I have had them aggro the elemental before, and it's been a giant pain. Now, we had 2 minutes 50 on hero on here, so we were quite ahead of time. So normally, if you were in a key that was sort of pushing, you'd be getting to this point and you would, be like just coming into hero, or it would be up, because we want a hero on the second boss, because the second boss of Shrine is generally a pain in the ass. It's been nerfed recently, which is great, but it's just always seems to be a pain in the ass. So we're just going to run down and pull this Ritualist. With the Ritualist, just make sure you have an interrupt order for the Unending Darkness. That will fuck you up if it gets off, so just make sure you're kicking it. The little enforcers don't do anything. Just watch out if you have a ranged person standing up here that cops aggro or something like that. See how these evade bug and just continually keep snapping back. Then what happens is the rest of the mobs just start dropping aggro. So make sure you're all down here when you're attacking it. And that's pretty much it for that one. With the enforcers as well, guys, these enforcers here, if you are in range of them, they'll cast this deep smash, which is the swirls on the ground. As the tank, if you have aggro of them and you just kite them away, they will not be able to cast that. They'll just chase you the whole time. Now, we still have 1:30 on hero. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull this obelisk here and we're going to take it to where we would be. Now, if we weren't in this position, we would have heroed the boss. We would have gone and did the trash pack, which we just did with the Deep Sea Ritualist and that, and then we would be doing this obelisk. But because we've got time on hero, we're just doing it this way first. So the fear one, we're going to kill the ads in place. So what we're going to do is we kill the ads in place and then we move it. Just watch out with the ads. They'll put that little, the flesh fiends, they'll put that little flesh rend on you. The debuff hurts a little bit, so just make sure you're sort of aware of that. With the fear, you can obviously Berserker Rage as a prot warrior. As a DK, you can AMS it. I'm sure other things have other things. But we're going to run this fear monster all the way through here, the old sort of death skip, and we're going to put it out there. With the fear ad as well, he always fears you away from him. So just know that he always fears you away from him. So as the tank, if you're going to cop a fear, just make sure you're pointing in the direction that you want to go and get feared that way. So we're going to kill him and we're going to dump our portal here. Now what we're going to do, because hero's up, is we're going to completely backtrack and we're going to go all the way back to the second boss and we're going to hero here. So on a higher key, obviously you wouldn't have that luxury. You'd be getting here, hero would pretty much be up and away you'd go. Now, normal setup you'll see is your range and healer will be up on this little rock here. It means they don't have to dodge whirlwinds or anything like that. I'll fully admit I am just not good at doing this second boss. The way that you can do this second boss as a tank is you can park yourself in the corner on this little rock. When the swiftness ward drops, you can elect to stay in there if you like. Otherwise, you can move up to this end. Then when the rune drops, you can go back to this end and you just ping pong back and forth up against this wall, and then your entire team aside from you can stand on this rock and hit the boss without having to worry about the whirlwinds. However, if you screw it up as the tank and get hit by a whirlwind or something like that, or you point a cleave in the wrong direction, your group gets dead, or if you get knocked off the platform by a whirlwind, you can reset the boss. So I'm working on that at the moment. This was like, I'm not sure when Tyrant Raging Necrotic was. This might have been like the second cycle, even though I've had like the whole of BFA to work on this. So I've just started practicing this to not be terrible at it. It's something maybe worth practicing, but otherwise you can just do it the stock standard way. Biggest thing is to make sure that you are interrupting Gale Caller Fae. The slicing blasts, you just don't want them to go off. You want to have an inter-order set up. Brother Ironhall is going to cast the Hindering Cleave. It goes off. He stays in his frontal location. You just want to make sure that you strafe out of the way of that. When Gale Caller Fae has the buff on her, I can't even remember what the buff is. Blessing of the Tempest, maybe. Every time you kick her, she'll spawn a whirlwind or a tornado, sorry. So just with that, you can let every second one through. Otherwise, you just have to sort of move across the platform away from the tornadoes. But that's about it. So everyone should kind of know how they work by now. If you don't, I'm sorry, but yeah, we're kind of skipping through, so this isn't too long. So we kill them, we're going back to our portal down here. Otherwise, you know, if we had have done that normal, we would be going to kill our ritualist trash. We'd come down, we'd take our portal, and we'd be taking our fear boy all the way back to where we did it, and we'd be coming out here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kill this front pack at the bridge here with the 2 cultists, which spawn 2 tentacles. Now as the tank, it's really important that you're in melee range of the tentacles, because if you are not, they will slap your DPS in the face and can kill them in, you know, half a second kind of thing if it's a fort key and it's a high enough level. So just be really careful of that. Make sure you've got aggro, make sure you're in melee range of them. The cultists are going to do this mental assault. It's a big frontal that comes at you. Purple lines, don't stand in the purple lines. So that's pretty much it with them. We're going to kill them, and then we're going into our obelisk here. Now, the spider is 2 interrupts back to back. So what you want to do is have 2 kicks organized. First kick, second kick, and then everybody legs it and line of sight. Now, you can elect to kill it. If you've got ample kicks, you can elect to just kill it as you kite it. However, if you don't, or if you just want to get it somewhere quickly, the easiest way is just 2 kicks and then run line of sight. The ads, you can see, will kill themselves on the way, so you don't have to worry about that, which can serve a purpose as well, because sometimes if you're trying to kill it on the way and you're running in and out for ads anyway, you're possibly losing the same amount of time. Just depends where you're taking it. So what we're going to do is we're running it all the way down here because we're going to kill it down here. So kick Lingering Doubt, and then the next cast, the first cast that comes after that is the Creeping Pestilence, then it's Lingering Doubt. So they're always going to be your 2 casts that go back to back. Now we're going to kill it here, and then we're going to do the boss. Now the reason we're doing that is this is a nice safety point, because when you kill the boss, you get a save point to here as your checkpoint. If you die, you res here. You can elect to turn around and do the tentacles, but if something bad happens, if it's a difficult week around tentacles or something along those lines and you die, you go back to the start. So we did get the skip pack anyway, which is that ritualist pack after the second boss. However, this is just the safest way to do it. So we are going to do the, what's this boss? Lord Storm Song. With this, just make sure you're kicking the void bolts. You can spell reflect them on a prop warrior as well. Biggest thing with this one is when he casts Waken of the Void, whoever gets mind controlled first, if they can get in the water and drop their debuff via the water, it works heaps better and stuff. You can also, it's not Waken the Void, it's Ancient Mindbender. So you can see here Doug's got it, right? And he's going to jump in the water. Reason being is if you go and drop your debuff in the water, you have more balls to collect later. And generally, the more balls, the better. So yeah, that's just something that you want to be able to do, because then when you get the second and third MC, probably even on the second one, you still want someone to go and jump in the water. And then by the third one, they can just collect some balls, get out of their MC, and it just makes it a lot easier. On the first one, there's never enough balls to get you out of an MC, and then you have to switch and DPS the person. If they just get in the water, much happier days. So yeah, kicking, collecting balls, and that's pretty much it. Once he's dead, we're going to go and we're going to kill the tentacle packs. Stuns, interrupts, that's pretty much it. Kill these. So we've killed them. And then we're going to run all the way to the last boss. So we're going to swim all the way down here. Try not to pull the eels. As you go, you can get to this corner and run straight across. Some other people swim under them. Chewy pulled them here. Fucking Chewy. Unbelievable. One pack of eels, it doesn't matter. We're going to kill them all anyway. So just, if you accidentally pull a pack of eels, not the end of the world, just kill the eels. So then we're going to come around to the side here. And we're going to pull this last boss. Now, as the healer, you get the Whispers of Power debuff on you that's going to cause you to do redonkulous damage. It's going to cause you to take a shitload of damage too if you get hit. However, the healer wants to leave it on themselves for pretty much the entirety of the fight if they can manage it, and because they'll just do insane damage. So when the boss casts its Yawning Gate, as the tank, you want to run it over to the side here. And the reason we want to do that, so when the Yawning Gate's cast, bring the boss back over this way. Reason being is when you get phased, one ad's going to be here and one ad's going to be over here. If you get phased here, the Grasp of the Sunken City, your DPS are straight onto their ad here, and we can go over and grab the forward run rather than being somewhere else on the platform to run. With the Denizen, it does a fair bit of damage, so don't think that you have to face tank it. Realistically, you just have to establish threat on it and then run away. Just make sure that you are continuing to establish threat, as your healer will be doing a buttload of damage. And if they rip aggro and it turns around and smacks them in the face, they'll die. Make sure you coordinate your kicks on this phase as well. There's the 2 Denizen adds, so you need 2 kicks on this side, 1 kick on this side. When the tank comes out, they can get the second kick on this side, unless one of the DPS has got over. So from here, we've come out. Now, rather than going and interrupting the boss, we're going to go and grab the 3 adds at the front of the platform. The reason you do this is because the healer has the whispers of the whatever it's called debuff, and they're doing an insane amount of damage, which means you can clean these adds up quicker. Biggest thing, interrupts. Have 1 person assigned to this one, 1 person assigned to this one. Have a second kick assigned to this one, a third kick assigned to this one. And kill 1 as a priority target. Your job is to have threat on the Denizen once again. Just be careful, because you're going to be taking quite a bit of damage from the middle Denizen. If you've got a kick, just make sure you're on that. That's pretty much it. When they're kicked as well, just make sure you've got aggro on them. Not that the 2 little squid ones are going to slap anyone that hard either. So we are killing them, no worries at all. Once they're dead, we're going to go and grab the eels, because again, we are, 6 and a bit % off finishing. These eels packs give us our last %, and we're going to use the healer's super buff to kill them. Now, just be careful as the tank. You take this Abyssal Strike debuff. However, if you are out of range of them, or if the eels are facing another way, other people are going to take that debuff. So on a thing like Necrotic, if you overpull eels and you're getting stacks and you need to run away, if you get too far away, those debuffs are going to go onto your DPS. Or in this case, if your healer is pumping, your healer's going to die, which you can see happen to Chewy there. And my DPS have got a few as well. So just be careful there. Honestly, probably A, wasn't very smart from me, and yeah, it's just something to be mindful of. So we're fine anyway, because we've got a battle res, but it means that Chewy's now lost his Whispers buff, which means he's not doing Insane's mock damage anymore, and it's sad face. So we're going to kill the eels. We're at 100%, and then we're going to go and finish the boss. So interrupting the boss, Call of the Abyss comes out, so this summons all the adds. You want to keep the adds from getting to him and giving him energy. So all we're going to do is he drops his Yawning Gate, drop slows, Ring of Pieces, whatever you've got. We're just going to drag him away from the adds pretty much. The adds move really slow, especially if you've got D&D slow and things like that. So it's easy to get the boss away from the adds. Mass Roots works as well. So again, no issues. So all we're going to do is just kite the boss around. We get a second downstairs phase, which is unfortunate, but that's going to happen. Again, rinse, repeat the same downstairs phase that you just did. Come out, interrupt boss, kill boss, pew pew. So that is it, guys. Any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, hopefully this has helped you out if you are moving into that +10 bracket. Hopefully you enjoyed it. So come find me on Twitch, come say hi in the Discord, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you very much for checking it out, guys. See you, fam.